One of my top 3 World of Warcraft private servers for 2022. That is Mistblade by STORMFORGE. A progressive Mists of Pandaria that launched in January this year. It is a project led mainly by the well-known team from Atlantis, supported by Tauri. I played actively on the server during the first month after the launch, and I would still come back here and there to play just for a couple minutes. Now in August, I came back to review the server and make sure that it's still worth the top 3 spot amongst all WoW private servers worldwide. A friend of mine accompanied me leveling a new fresh character on Mistblade, despite both of us already having existing max levels on the server. I have a human DK at level 90 and a human paladin at level 87, and my friend has a number of different classes at 90. The leveling was smooth. I would say probably 99% of everything worked great, including overall scripting of the server, the quests, classes and spells. There were some very small bugs, such as your Hearthstone not showing its cooldown, or not receiving a buff from an orb in Black Fathom Deeps, and it doesn't show the healer icon in dungeons at the party frames, which is pretty annoying. Mistblade currently in August 2022 is in phase 5.2 with the PvP season 13 and the Thunder King content out, which has been there since early June this year. Community didn't impress me too much. They say Warmane's community is toxic, but I think it's about the same on any other server nowadays. People in random dungeons were not communicating with each other, not answering questions. I got DC'd once in a dungeon for literally 1 minute maximum. I logged in and they kicked me after 15 seconds. So 3 people agreed to kick me because I disconnected for a couple seconds when we weren't even fighting. That's just one example, not mentioning hordes attacking me 2v1 and so on. On the other hand, there were also some kind players that helped me. I met a few viewers on my channel and had some good interactions too, so it wasn't all that bad in the end. I stumbled upon a handful of players in the open world while leveling. Not too many, but at least something. Azeroth is mostly pretty empty in those low level zones. Population peaks at around 3,500 in the evenings at around 10 PM EU time. So it is one of the biggest WoW private servers in the world right now, and rightfully so. The factions are balanced. It is exactly 50-50 according to their website. The world chat is full of BS, but at least people mostly communicate in English. There are also many players looking for parties, for PvE, world bosses, and even PvP partners for arenas or BGs. You can even get to play raided battlegrounds on the server, which is pretty impressive. 2v2 and 3v3 arenas are fairly active. You have a quest for 3v3 arenas, which further motivates people to form groups and queue up for this bracket. There's also the 3v3 solo queue option, which you can access by typing a command .solo or from your regular arena UI. Solo queue is not very active though, and unless you are a healer, it's usually just endless waiting. Random BGs are popping usually either instantly or within 1 or 2 minutes. There are also cross factions, so the wait time is really short, but the groups are often very imbalanced. You can get 0 healers in your group while the other group has 3, so it's pretty much a loss no matter what you do. With 3,000 and more players on the server, you can imagine you will have no issues playing pretty much anything from PvE to PvP, open world content such as world bosses or world PvP. You can even run the old legacy raids or dungeons for transmog, mounts or raw gold. They're all working fine from what I've seen. You should be able to do ICC even in just 2 people. When queuing up for a random heroic dungeon and max level, it usually takes around 10 minutes of waiting if you're a DPS. It would be ideal if you were a tank, obviously, then you get the fastest queue pop. On low levels, while leveling, queuing up for a dungeon usually took somewhere around 15 minutes of waiting. Sometimes it was just few minutes, but sometimes even over 20 or 30 minutes of waiting in the queue as a DPS. So unless you have something else to do while waiting in the queue, you better do quests instead. There are also many active guilds to choose from, both PvE and PvP ones, and communities of players from different countries. STORMFORGE also has an active Discord channel. One big criticism from the past that I addressed in a video in March I think, was that STORMFORGE still didn't have an Armory even 2 or 3 months after the launch. They have since corrected this, and the Armory can be accessed by going to stormforgelogs.pt. There you will find the regular character Armory, but also PvP statistics, PvE rankings, and much more. They've done a really good job with this logs website. I like it a lot. There was also a PvP tournament held on Mistblade a few weeks ago. Big props to the Mistblade team for setting this up and promoting the PvP activity on the server. STORMFORGE also has still a relatively fresh Wrath of the Lich King server called Forging, which is almost empty. Up to 300 players online there at peak. Not something I would recommend, but it is there just so that you know. I hope I didn't forget about anything. If I did, please let me know in the comments. Overall, STORMFORGE's Mistblade is still among my top 3 WoW private servers today. It 100% deserves it, although I keep saying that if Tauri did this move, if they released a fresh Mists of Pandaria realm, this could have been them. And I would honestly still rather play Pandaria on Tauri simply because their website is better. The way their donate currency, the credit system works, the character auction, and so many things that STORMFORGE hasn't figured out yet. And although STORMFORGE is not the server where I would be actively playing, since I'm enjoying Wrath of the Lich King these days, it still is a place I might go back to in the future.